Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, I have for you From My Tree to Our Tree Strategies for a Collaborative Family Trees on Family Search. I am Sarah Day, and I will be your presenter for this session. I really hope you enjoy learning about this topic and become a great contributor and collaborator on Family Search. Here are just a couple of reminders from Roots Tech. Please go ahead and silence all those electronic devices. No audio or visual recordings, but please feel free to take pictures of my slides and use these resources within your own circles and for your own use. Here are the things I wish to discuss with you today. The first is going from my tree to our tree. It's important to keep in mind that Family Search is a worldwide tree. It's everyone's tree, it's not just yours. I want to talk to you about strategies for collaborating with others effectively, some best practices for communicating with others, how to deal with changes that are made by others, resolving conflicts, and then ensuring the accuracy of the information you are providing to the tree. One of the things you may be asking yourself is why exactly would you want to use a collaborative tree like Family Search? It has a lot of benefits instead of just having your own individual family tree like you can on a piece of paper or on a website like Ancestry. These allow you to have private individual family trees. Family Search is not this way. Instead, it is one big group tree. This allows for everyone to add their opinions and information and hopefully end up with the most accurate tree possible because we have the most hands and eyes researching to create the best tree we possibly can with the most accuracy possible. While the collaborative trees do have their upsides and benefits, you do have to keep in mind that it is our tree. It is, at the end of the day, a collaborative tree, and there will be changes made by others. If you want something that no one else can touch, Family Search is not for you, and you need to keep your own personal, private tree. I personally use both. That way I can collaborate and research with others, but I also have my own tree that is just mine that I am the only one that can make changes to. When working through problems, it's important to start with yourself. So we must start at the very beginning, and that includes with your Family Search profile. It's important that your contact information on your Family Search profile is up to date. That way, if others wish to speak to you or contact you, they can do so. Make sure your communication preferences and notifications are set up the way you want. Know that you can now add a phone number, an email, a Facebook, and a WhatsApp to your Family Search profile, and that way others can contact you through these means. And then I also want to show you relationship viewing. If you go to the Family Search website, it pops up this screen, and the first thing you need to do is go ahead and hit the Sign In button. After you have done that, it will allow you to go to this page. This is the home screen after you sign in. Once you are on the home screen, you can go ahead up to where it says your name and hopefully has a picture of you up in the upper right hand corner, right up here. Once you've clicked on that, it will pop up this menu, which once you're on this menu, you can go ahead and click on the settings button. The settings button will then pop up this page. This is your profile page. On your profile, there are a couple of tabs. This is your first profile tab. As you can see, you can go ahead and add a portrait or picture of you, your name, your contact ID, where you live, both in country and in state. Then over here, you can also add contact methods. As you can see, the current options are a phone number, an email, a Facebook, and a WhatsApp. Anyone can contact you through Family Search messaging, but if you want to provide other options, you can also do so right here. On the same page, you can go right up here to notifications, and right here, it's how you want to be contacted by Family Search Here's your email tabs. I would suggest you just go through and read each of these and decide which ones you would like to be notified about when they happen. The next tab, still in that settings area, is this permissions tab. On here, there are a couple of key things about how you appear to others on Family Search. The first one is include your profile information in the directory search results. So friends, family, and others on Family Search will be able to find and collaborate with you if you have this blue over to the side. The other thing I want to show you is relationship viewing. By enabling relationship viewing, it allows others to see what their relationship is to you and you to others. This will allow you, when you're working on Family Search, to be able to hit someone's name, the View My Relationship button, and then you can see whether you're second cousins or 10th cousins 3 times removed or anywhere in between. Family Search goes up to 15 generations in searching for these relationships. And so this is a really important feature in my view, to be able to see what your relationship is to others, and then you remember that you're working as family, to work on your shared ancestry and shared people on the tree. There are a couple of key things about understanding your role and the Family Search community's role. Remember that this is a shared family tree. Everyone has access to edit and add information on the tree. Recognize that the people who are adding and editing this information may be family members, they may be researchers, they may be curious, and they come with a variety of skill levels. This might be their very first time ever on Family Search, or they might be a well-trained user who has had years of family history experience. You don't know unless you ask, so make sure to assume the best intention of others. Know that mistakes are going to be made. That's the nature of family history and working together collaboratively. But as we try and assume the best of others, it's easier to not get upset with them, as they are just doing the best they can, as are we. So there's a couple of best practices when you are making changes on the tree. First is to add sources to everything you're doing. When you add a new death date or birth date or marriage date or occupation, make sure to add the source from where you got it, whether that was a census record or a church record or whether you were actually there at the event. Make sure to add the source. That way everyone knows where the information came from. Add reason statements and explanations. When you add information, just say where you got it and why you're adding it. Explain how you know what it is you know. The third tip is to put the information in a standardized format. For dates, this goes in the day, month, year format, and for locations, or localities as we call them, this goes from the smallest to the largest. So for example, if I am working in the United States, I'm going to use the city or town, then the county, then the state, then the country. In Canada, for instance, you're going to use provinces. Just make sure to use the locality in order from smallest to largest, as you would do in an address. Changes are going to happen, so I have a couple of tips to deal with those. The first is to use the latest changes tab. Know what has been changed, by who, and when. The second is to set up notifications and use the follow button for people you are particularly interested in and what their changes are going to be. The third is to look for the reason statements and sources that others have added. Usually we'd only add information if we have a reason for doing so. If the individual was following best practices, they would have added a source and or a reason statement for why they changed what they did and how they know what they know. Find your relationship to the contributor. It can be really impactful to have conversations with family members, especially second or third cousins. And as you find your relationship and remember that you're just family, it's a lot easier to resolve later conflicts. Reach out and speak with a contributor about their changes before you just change it back. This is important to keep an open dialogue and communication about what changes are being made, as there's likely a reason they made the change they did. And as we seek to understand each other, we have better relationships and a better family tree. So the couple of things that I want to show you is first the latest changes tab. This is just on anyone's person page. If you scroll down on their details section, over on the right hand side is the latest changes. You can see the date that the change was made, what change was made, and who it was made by. If you want to see more than just the most recent 3, you just go ahead and hit the Show All button. The Show All button will bring up a new page that looks like this. This is what will pop up, and as you can see, it has all of the changes that have ever been made for this man, John. It'll show me over here on the right hand side what the change was, the name of the change, the value, or this gives more details about what the actual change was, the date and the person, and then whether it's currently on their page or whether it was something that was done previously, a reference. The other thing that I want to show you on the person page is the follow button. It's right up here in the middle of the page. We have John, then we have view tree, view relationship, and then next to that is follow. If you go ahead and press that follow button, it'll change the star and it will say following. To find the people that you are following, you can go right up here to the very top where it says following. And on this page, you will find a list of all people you are following. I would suggest anyone you're actively researching or you have a close relationship to and have added a lot of information, you follow. The follow page looks like this. As you can see, there's changes to people you follow. So there's following. As you can see, I have quite a few people I'm following. Options will bring up filters. You can arrange this list in a variety of ways. You can sort by birth dates, death dates, names, etc. Up here, it'll show the name of the individual. Right here, here's Aaron, and then it'll tell me what their recent changes are. So if they've had any recent changes, it'll show up right here, along with the date and the person who made the changes. It will also give you a notification in your Family Search messages once a week with an update of all changes that have been made to anyone you are following. The next thing I want to show you is reason statements and sources. So when you go onto anyone's person page, it looks like this. To edit any of the information, you're going to find the piece that you want to edit or view, and then you're going to hit the little pencil icon next to that event. That then pops up this page. This page has the date, the place, and then reasons. So as you can see, reason this information is correct. This is the reason statement. This was added by someone else, and it includes the reason that they changed the information. The prior date was a simple typo. This date likely previously read 1279 instead of 1729, and so the change was simply being made to switch the typo. You can see a history of all of the reason statements if you go into see all changes, and then you can go through every time it's been changed and you can view all of the reason statements for the change. If you go in and change this information, perhaps if I get a specific day in March that Sarah was born, I would then add more information to the reason statement. Over here, you can also see sources. This is all of the sources that have been attached to Sarah that provide evidence of her birthplace. If you add another source, go ahead and tag it to her birthplace, but you can see where all of the information for her birth is coming from. Over here, under the reason statement box, it lists the date that the information was changed and by who. This information was changed by Maureen. If I click on her name, a new page will pop up. This page has Maureen, it has her handle, it has where she is living, and it has our relationship. She's my 10th cousin once removed. This is a fairly distant relationship, but it can be cool to see how you're related to the people who are also working on the same ancestors and people on the tree as you are. If I click this 10th cousin once removed, it will pop up a view my relationship box and it will show my line of ascent and descent to Maureen with all of the people in between. There's also this lovely chat button. If I hit chat, it'll pop up the Family Search chat, and I can ask Maureen about her previous research into this person, or about why she made the changes she did. This is especially helpful if the previous contributor had not added a reason statement or sources. You can see if they do have a source or a reason that they made the change they did. Best practices for communication. I would suggest contacting others through Family Search messages first. You're using Family Search, and so you might as well use their internal message system. If this does not work, then you can use their other contact information and try and contact them via Facebook, phone, or email. The second suggestion is to use a collaborative dialogue. Invite conversation rather than making unilateral changes and decisions. Don't just say you're wrong and I'm right. Try and make it into a conversation about the ancestor and about the reasons why certain things were done. Assume good intentions of others. Assume that they are doing the best they can with the resources they have and they had a reason for doing what they did. My next suggestion is just to be kind. I have heard a variety of horror stories about people just being really mean on Family Search. This is supposed to be a happy, collaborative place to do family history. Remember the person you're talking to, this may be their very first time ever on Family Search. And if you get mad at them, you may scare them off from ever wanting to do family history ever again. So make sure to be kind. Acknowledge the contributions and efforts of others, and then thank them when appropriate. Acknowledge that they are trying to add information to the tree and make it a more complete tree. Thank them for that. And when they have found something that you have been unable to, make sure to show your appreciation to them. Keep in mind that Family Search messaging is not for fighting, it's for dialogue, it's for communication and collaboration. Make sure to ensure accuracy when you're adding information to the tree. Use best genealogical practices. Check and correlate the information you're finding across multiple records and explain the conclusions you come to. Try and use primary sources for your research. Double check others' work. This is an important first step, finding out what's already out there, what has already been done. We trust others, but we also verify that it's correct. Avoid just deleting conflicting information. Instead, come to conclusions, making conclusion based on the information you have, and make the conclusion the prominent feature, but make sure to show the complexities. My grandmother was born in either 1900 or 1901. Even to the day she died, she was unsure. So it's important to keep in mind that there may be conflicts in records. Make sure to show these conflicts and complexities and not just delete conflicting information. My final suggestion is to use the discussion and notes features. When you are on someone's person page, there is a collaborate button right there along the top after in between sources and memories. When you click the collaborate button, it'll pop up this page and allow you to add notes and discussions. This allows you to add notes about your research, about conflicts, about things you have found, and discuss them with others. One of the key features of notes is actually fairly recent. If you click add note or add discussion, you can go ahead and add information, but the feature I wish to show you is about the add note button. So after you click Add Note, it'll pop up this page. Right up here at the top, you can make it an alert note. This will display at the top of the page when any future researcher comes along to work on this individual. This can be especially helpful if a person has been repeatedly merged incorrectly or if information regularly is changed to incorrect or similar information of people of the same name. The alert note looks like this. It goes right up here along the top of the page and is in orange, and hopefully individuals will read this alert note before making changes. A couple of other things I wish to mention have to do with conflict resolution. Start conversations politely. Don't use confrontational language. Don't say you are wrong. Explain where you are coming from and make sure to start politely. Review the Family Search chat rules. Respond to others assuming best intentions and with politeness. Talk about the change, don't make it personal. Talk about that the birth date was changed from this day to this day and about why you think it is the way it is. Ask them for why they think it is the way it is. But make sure it's about the birth date, not about them being a terrible researcher. Try and make connections. These are your family members and relatives that you are working with. So try and connect with them. That's essentially the goal of all family history. Know that if someone does become too much or if they're aggressive, you can block them. You'll have to reach out to Family Search for more information. A helpful resource when using the chat is the Family Search chat guide. If you just Google that, it'll pop up for you. A couple of concluding thoughts. Remember, the goal is to collaborate with others to get the best results and tree possible. Assume the best intentions of others. Reach out and engage with others. These may be your family members. And embrace teamwork. That is essentially the goal of a collaborative tree, is to work as a team to come up with the best results possible. I hope you have enjoyed this session. Remember to give feedback to it in the app. Find the session in the Roots Tech app, scroll down to fill out survey, and then let me know how the session was. If you have further comments or questions for me, please feel to reach out and connect. On the screen, you can see my email, my Instagram, my X, and my Threads accounts. Please go ahead and reach out. I would love to hear from you and speak to you. Remember to collaborate and for teamwork. Thank you for listening to me today. I hope you have learned a lot, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, night, or evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you.